Russian President Vladimir Putin was in a televised meeting with a military chief when he announced that there would be a temporary Easter ceasefire from 6 p.m. Moscow time on Easter Saturday through to midnight on Easter Sunday Moscow time. So that is 30 hours. He said he was doing this on humanitarian grounds. He said he hoped Ukraine would follow Russia's example. Those are his words. At the same time, our troops are prepared to repel possible violations, provocations and aggression. So he's trying to place himself here as a peacemaker. But of course, 30 days is a far cry from the 30 hours, I should say, Kath, is a far cry from 30 days, which was proposed by the United States and agreed to by Ukraine last month.
Our decision on the Easter truce will show how sincere the Kiev regime is and its willingness and ability to abide by the agreements to participate in the process of peace talks aimed at eliminating the root cause of the Ukrainian crisis.
So, Zoe, what has the Ukraine's reaction been so far?
Well, we've seen a message on social media from the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, and he said that Ukraine will mirror Russia's actions, silence with silence and defensive strikes in response to attacks. He's also suggested that if Russia was truly serious about peace, that it would extend this ceasefire beyond the Easter weekend. He's also indicated a real scepticism, as have people across Ukraine today, about this ceasefire, simply because they don't trust Russia. They believe that Moscow manipulates them, and they've said that some evidence of this is that in the hour before the ceasefire, drones were continuing to fly over Ukraine from Russia, that air raid sirens were sounding, that there was artillery fire into the front line there, and that Volodymyr Zelenskyy says that even once that ceasefire began at 6 p.m. Moscow time, there continued to be attacks across the front line, and those air raid sirens continued as well, he says. So there still is a lot of distrust there, not only from the highest levels of government, but also from people on the ground across Ukraine. They are all prepared for this temporary ceasefire promised by Vladimir Putin to not materialise.
I do not believe his statements, because Russia is a terrorist country and they constantly lie to the international community. They hoax and drag time to become stronger and start military actions again with new strength. That's what I think.
Tonight in Ukraine, and especially in Kiev, we expect missiles. There will be no ceasefire. This is what I think.
I don't know. It's hard to believe. They never keep their word. That's why I don't believe it.
Now, Zoe, we know that the United States has been inserting itself into these ceasefire negotiations so far. We know that on Friday it said it would walk away from trying to broker a ceasefire deal. Do you think what we're seeing now, this 30-hour alleged ceasefire, despite what we're hearing from President Zelenskyy, is in short truce? Is this short truce in response to that?
It certainly looks like it, doesn't it, Kath? Because it was Thursday when the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio was in Paris meeting with European leaders, bringing them up to speed on ceasefire talks. Friday morning, though, as he was departing Paris, he said that the US couldn't continue with this endeavour for weeks and months on end, that it needed to know that it needed to determine very quickly, in a matter of days, Mr Rubio said, if this was doable. If it was, then he says we're in. If not, we have other priorities. And then that sentiment was echoed hours later by Donald Trump back in Washington. He said that he needed to know that whether the US was able to stay in this, they would have to take a pass if both sides didn't indicate a seriousness. So Vladimir Putin's announcement, a surprise announcement of this ceasefire, certainly looks like it is in response to that, because he's hoping to build relations with the United States, and hearing from not only Marco Rubio but Donald Trump that they might walk away from this has potentially prompted him to announce this.
And finally, before I let you go, Zoe, there have been reports of a potential minerals deal between Ukraine and the US. What details do you have on this alleged deal?
We're expecting it will be signed on Thursday, Kath, but we have seen this movie before, of course. You would remember when Volodymyr Zelenskyy went to the White House and there was that extraordinary shouting match. There was meant to be that minerals deal signed on that day, but then J.D. Vance and President Trump promptly rebuked Volodymyr Zelenskyy and asked him to leave the White House, saying that he wasn't appreciative of the United States' effort to help Ukraine. It appears, though, that minerals deal is back on the table, that the two sides, the United States and Ukraine, have agreed to a framework that would essentially have the United States investing in Ukraine's recovery in exchange for Ukraine offering a share of profits from the minerals inside Ukraine to the United States. We don't know yet about whether there are any security guarantees attached to that, which is what Ukraine really wants. So we're waiting to find out more details, and we are expecting to hear those on Thursday.